Welcome to the Healthy Screen Habits podcast. I'm so glad you're here. Whether this is your very first episode or you've been listening with us for years, welcome back. This is season 15, and we're diving into a theme that has been showing up again and again in conversations with parents, educators, and caregivers all over the world. That is that sort of arc of tech through childhood. The theme of this season is from first screens to crisis moments. Because for most families, this journey with technology does not start with a crisis. It starts small. It starts with that very first screen. Maybe a video to calm a toddler, a game on a tablet, a phone passed back in the car, kind of to help you along with the ride. It starts with, good intentions, curiosity, convenience, and a lot of times, just to be honest, it starts with a lot of parent exhaustion. Parents are tired and working really hard. And this is where it gets tricky. Sometimes, if those screens just keep happening without intention, things can get a lot more complicated. Kids grow, tech changes, platforms evolve, social dynamics shift within neighborhoods, friend groups, etc. And before we know it, many of us, myself included, are trying to make sense of situations we never imagined we'd be navigating as parents. So this season is going to be about that whole arc. The early choices, the everyday habits, and yes, even those harder, scarier moments when something feels off or we're not sure what to do next, or maybe we're looking for some outside advice. So here's what else is going on through my head as we start this season. If you've been feeling overwhelmed by the news lately, you are not alone. We are seeing stories that are genuinely frightening and deeply disturbing. It's stories and content that are hard to understand with an adult brain and adult language in an adult world, much less explain or talk about with our kids. So that's where Healthy Screen Habits is here to help. A really common refrain we hear from parents is, I don't know how to start that conversation, or I don't want to scare them, but I can't ignore this either. And friends, this podcast exists for exactly those moments. Over the years, I've had the privilege of hosting more than 160 episodes. I have talked to global experts, researchers, educators, clinicians, and parents like you and me who are in the thick of it, figuring things out in real time. No perfection, no fear mongering, just thoughtful, practical, human conversations about raising kids alongside technology. And this is where I would like to encourage you to explore our episodes by topic menu on the website. This is really a great time to do it. This episodes by topic menu lets you browse the entire library by theme. It covers things like Tech Tots and Littles, which is going to talk about early childhood and first screens. There's sections on gaming and online communities, social media, which gets into body image as well as social trickiness, mental health, online safety, digital resilience. And then we also get into things like tough conversations surrounding things like pornography and video game overuse. So if something's coming up in your family right now, whether it's something you saw online, maybe on the news, or it's something your child asked or something that isn't sitting right with you, you don't have to start from scratch. And that's just what we want to do. We want to be here for you with the podcast, with our Healthy Screen Habits handbook, and with so many of our free downloadable tools. I really encourage you to check them out on the website. Chances are there's already an episode, a podcast episode waiting for you that can help you. It can help put language around an issue, understand what's developmentally appropriate. Really importantly, feel a little less alone before you start the conversation at home. Honestly, revisiting older episodes can be incredibly grounding, especially during times, I'm going to say like these, when the world feels loud and out of control. You don't have to listen to everything in order in this podcast at all. And you certainly don't have to agree with every perspective. I mean, this is a collection of voices. Think of this podcast like a resource that you can come back to. It's like the library. You can come back to it again and again as your kids grow and the digital landscape keeps shifting. So, to get into this season, we're going to be talking about how early screen habits can shape later experiences, what to watch for when things move from normal to concerning, how to stay connected to your family and your kid during trying times, and how to respond when something genuinely serious shows up. But I just want to make sure you also know we also talk a lot about hope. Because while there are real risks online, there are also incredible opportunities. I mean, we've got creativity, learning, connection, with long distance family members and connection with our own kids. Because through all the child development experts I've talked to and through all of my studies as a child development person myself, kids do best when they have adults who are willing to stay curious, calm, and stay engaged, even if we don't have all the right answers. It's okay. You stay curious, ask them lots of questions, stay calm, and then it builds that connection. So if the news has been making you anxious, if your child has asked a question that's caught you off guard, or if you've had that gut feeling that something might be going on that you're not sure about and it's time to check in, consider this your invitation. So you can browse that episode by topics menu, pick an episode that feels relevant right now. And you can listen on a walk or in the car while you're folding laundry. That's why the episodes are only 30 minutes. Use it as a conversation starter. You don't need a perfect script. Sometimes all it takes is, hey, I was listening to this lady today talk about, fill in the blank. And like, has that been happening at your school? Or like, can we talk about that? What do you know about that? So, most of all, I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for caring enough to show up, to learn and keep these conversations and the connection going in your own family. That's how we build a better world. I'm really glad you're here. You're part of this community, and I can't wait to share season 15 with you. So after that, now we'll get started next Wednesday with our first episode of season 15, and we can get started together.